guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are having a lovely week. If you guys are new here, my name is Kayla Briggs. I do a little bit of everything on this channel, so if you guys like that, hit the like and subscribe down below. So let's get started on today's video. So I had noticed that you guys really liked my last video. If you guys don't know what my last video was, it was about Netflix's new show Wednesday, and I made a little bit of a review, so I thought I would give you guys another review this week because I personally love them and I'm happy that you guys love them. So we're gonna build upon this because I kid you not, I love doing movie and show reviews. I love watching that type of content, so if you guys like that, I'm going to give it to you. I'm also not wearing makeup today because it's raining outside and it's just like muggy and I still have to go to work. And if you guys don't know, I film these videos like in between like my time of going to like work, and like I literally will sit here for like a couple of hours out of my day to film and edit videos as fast as possible to get it up to you guys. So sometimes it's gonna be on a Friday and sometimes it's not. I'm hoping that this video is up on a Friday, but it might not be up until Saturday or Sunday, but I'm gonna try my best to stick to the schedule of Friday. But it is hard when I work Monday through Saturday, so it is what it is. You know, I have a job. This is like my hobby and I like doing hobbies. So that is a little spiel in the beginning of this video, but if you if you can't tell from the thumbnail, today we're going to be talking about the Winx Club. So on Netflix, it's called Faith the Winx Saga. So this is a live adaptation of the original series, The Winx Club. And I know for me personally, I grew up watching The Winx Club. It was like one of my favorite shows, to the point where my parents got it on DVD because they knew like how much I loved it and they wanted to like bring it on the road when I was like a kid and stuff like that. Also, That's So Raven they got on DVD, and like Miley Cyrus and like Princess, but that's besides the point. I'm just telling you that one of the DVDs was the Winx Club and I loved that DVD. So what has transformed? We're gonna talk firstly about the original characters and the plot of the original Winx Club, and then we're going to talk about the comparison of the original characters to the live adaptation and the plot of the live adaptation. It's very interesting. And then we're going to talk about the plot in season 1 and season 2 of the live adaptation. And then we're going to do a conclusion about our likes, our dislikes. Is it a bop? Is it not a good show? We're gonna discuss that at the end, but let's get started on the original characters and the plot. So the original characters are actually 6 girls. Now I know, like, I think like season 1 it would probably be like 5, but like for me, the original people that I know were 6 people, and I'm gonna go through each one. So we have Bloom, who obviously she has the power of fire. That has not changed in the live adaptation. She still has the same powers. Then we have Flora, you know, she does the little flower thing. And then we have Stella, who has like the power of the light. I think I also read that she has the power of the moon also, but most of the time she was using light as her power. Then we have Musa, who's like has the power of like music and like sound and stuff like that. Then we have Aisha, who has the power of, I think, water. I think that hasn't changed also. And then we also had Tekna, she had the power of like technology and stuff like that. So those were the original 6 that I remember. Now I know throughout like different seasons of the Winx Club, there might be like different characters or added characters in there, but those are the 6 that I personally remember. And I remember like in each episode they were just like going to save the day, and like there's villains coming out and these villains are horrible and blah 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 blah. They have to save the day, and of course there's some mean girls. So let's go over the mean girls also, because they were pretty big in the Winx Club. Their names were Icy, Darcy, and Stormy. I know Stormy, she had like the power of like lightning bolts and stuff like that. Darcy, I don't remember what her power was. Let me see. So her power was like the control of darkness and hypnotics. So she was like kind of powerful, but they were like really pretty. Icy, I believe, had the power of like cold, frigid, and just like death. She was just like icy, you know, she was like freeze you to death. That was Icy. Sometimes I look back on my clips and I'm like, this video is so corny, and my last statement, I'm so sorry. Please disregard that. It was not good. So they were all like witches, not fairies technically. They were just like, they had witch power, which is kind of different from the live adaptation, because they are technically also fairies, just like evil fairies. Winx Club just in general was with those 6 characters, and then we had those 3 just like kind of like evil characters, but there's other evil characters that were there, like, you know, like some type of monster or something like that. But these 3 other characters, Icy, Darcy, and Stormy, were just kind of like, they would come in every now and then, and they were always like messing up something, you know, like just destroying something like that, or like sneaking around or doing something like that. But obviously the original Winx Club, they were like always there to save the day, is what we're trying to say, okay? So moving on, we're gonna move on to the comparison of the original characters to the live adaptation, because it is kind of different, and some things have been said about the show and the characters, but let's get started on that. So comparing Bloom to the Bloom in the show, she has red hair, you know, it's totally fine. I can see Bloom being the live adaptation of Bloom. It's pretty good, it's pretty spot on. Flora, her name is not Flora in the show. Okay, so Flora in the season 1, you think Flora is Terra, because Terra can also do magic of some sort with flowers and stuff like that. And so everyone thought Terra was Flora, right? And the reason why people were upset that Terra was Flora was because Terra is white. Okay, she's a white character, and Flora in the original Winx Club is actually, she has tan skin, she has, you know, light brown hair, so she looked more like she was Hispanic, Spanish, you know, or she just had more color to her, and the show kind of whitewashed her a little bit. So some people were upset by this. We'll go on to the next character, because there is another one who people are a little bit upset about. So forgot to say this, but basically you think Terra's Flora, but then Flora is like gets shown in season 2. So this girl here is now Flora. She's finally there. So now we have 2 people in season 2 that can do like flower power. It makes no sense. And they're like cousins, by the way. Yeah. Then we have Stella. Stella looks like the character she's supposed to be. She's pretty good. You know, blonde hair, nice eyes. That's Stella, okay? She's fancy. They did great on her. Then we have Musa. Okay, Musa was, I believe, supposed to be, she had the jet blue hair, which in anime, if you don't know, sometimes they'll like say people that are like Chinese or Japanese, they have like jet blue hair. I personally don't understand that, but that's what they say, kind of like they have like really dark black hair. But so she was supposed to be like mostly Chinese Japanese type of descent, but the live adaptation, she is not like that. So I believe the person who plays Musa is from the UK, and she is like of Jewish descent, but basically she's not what they were expecting her to look like in the live adaptation. So some people were pretty upset by this, which is understandable. Then we have Aisha, which she's pretty good. I think that they made a great, like, they got in a great actor to play her, and she looks the way it's supposed to be, you know? And I like that they gave her where'd that country accent come from? What the frick? I like how they gave her like braids and stuff, cause you know in the show she had like long nice hair, but I like that in the live adaptation they made her with like braids, and it was still very nice, and she's beautiful, so I like that. We don't have a Tekna. Yeah, we don't have a Tekna, which is a little upsetting to me, but it is what it is. I can't be upset about it. Let's go back to the actors and their names compared to the pictures. So Abigail Cohen plays Bloom. Then we have Hannah Van Der Westhuizen? Tyson? Girl, I don't know. Who plays Princess Stella. Then we have Elliot Salt, who plays Tara Harvey. Then we have Alicia Applebaum, who plays Musa. Jeez. Then we have some other main characters, who is Freddie Torp, who plays Riven. Riven? Sorry. Okay, then we have Danny Griffin, who plays Sky. He is who he is. Then we have Sadie Silverval, who plays Beatrix. Now, Beatrix is basically Stormy from the original, like the Winx Club, but they call her Beatrix. We have Leslie Sharp, who plays Rosalind. I also forgot to add that in season 2, Rosalind is like the actor's change, and it was replaced by Miranda Richardson. And then we have Paulina Chavez, who plays Flora in the second season. Yeah. Now we're gonna go into the plot of the first and second season, so let's get into it. So in season 1, we get introduced to Bloom. They talk, they like, you know, she gets sent to the school, and now she has to learn about her magic, and of course she's the most powerful Winx out there because of her magic, and she doesn't know how to control it. And basically in season 1, there's obviously a bad person. Bloom now has to figure out, oh golly, basically, you know, she's now in this new school. She's trying to figure out, you know, what happened to her parents, who saved her, how did she get here, what powers does she have, and all this other stuff. It's basically like kind of the original plot of the Winx Club, but now they're changing it to the live adaptation. So basically she's trying to figure out all this stuff, and she's not really trusting everybody who's there, even though everybody is trying to help her. Somehow Rosalind, who is basically like an evil character, was able to like imprint in Bloom's mind that she was the one who saved her from the fire that was set in her house or whatever, and bring her to where she is now. And she's trying to understand well, the Bloom is trying to understand what happened to her actual parents, because her parents she was with is not technically her actual parents, which is very interesting. It's very confusing. It's still confusing in season 2. I don't really get it, but basically those are not her actual parents. Somehow she ended up with these people, and then she burned the house down, and then she had to actually go to the fairy school so that she can learn how to control her magic when she's like angry and stuff. So she believes that Rosalind was the one who saved her, and Beatrix, which is also another evil character, was also imprinted by Rosalind. So she's like loyal to Rosalind, and she kind of like is with Bloom and is telling her like, you know, they have Rosalind locked up, and you know, she'll give us all the answers we need to learn about where our parents are and how we can save them, and blah 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 blah. So Bloom starts following Beatrix. Beatrix and Bloom were able to basically get Rosalind out, and then Rosalind basically like kills the other professor who's in charge of the school so that she can become the professor of the school. But all at the same time, there was also like some burned ones that were coming into the school and like destroying the school, and like they had to protect themselves. And then Bloom became a Winx. She grew her wings, and like, you know, she really fought with all her power. Season 1 was a mess, is what I'm trying to say here, okay? Like, to me, the plot doesn't make any sense. It was a hot mess. It's a no. It's a no for me from right now. Okay, so then we go into season 2, right? So now Rosalind, the evil person, is now the main, like, professor in the thing where she controls the whole school. So in the beginning you're thinking like Rosalind's doing all these evil things and like killing different students, but then she was like, no, it's the blood witches who are doing this. Yeah, so in the original Winx Club, you know, the 3 little girls, Icy, Stormy, and Darcy, were like witches or whatever. But apparently in this adaptation there's blood witches, so, and they're mostly like guys. That's another story to tell. I think they're mostly guys. And these blood witches, right, so they're mostly guys, but also like the guys in the show, like Sky and Riven, they have like, they're not fairies, obviously. They're kind of just like warriors, and the fairies like help back them up in the war, right? So Bloom and Sky are together, obviously. That whole love story, apparently Sky was with Stella at one point, and now like they're all best friends. It don't make no sense. But Bloom and Sky are still together, even though Bloom got with her friend's ex. Yeah, got with her friend's ex. So that was in season 1, and now it's still season 2. But let me back up real quick, because I forgot to mention this, and I need to add this in here. Musa doesn't have the power of music, okay? She doesn't have that power. She has the power of like feelings and like changing people's feelings and stuff like that. I'm not really sure what you call that, but she basically is able to touch somebody and like, let's say you're having an anxiety attack, she's able to be like, it's okay, and then you're like, oh yeah, it's fine, it's totally great. she wasn't using it a lot in season 1, but she started using it a lot in season 2, and she started to realize that maybe using it a lot is not a great thing because her boyfriend was going crazy. So there's that. And I mean, in a live adaptation, it kind of makes sense why they would change the, like, why music, the power of music is not that great, but I feel like the power of sound is pretty great. Like, maybe we don't have a Tecna, but maybe we can make her, the power of like her screaming or something is like just so powerful that it like literally racks people away or something. Like, you know, they could have done that to Musa. Like, she could still have like a strong like voice power or something like that. You know what I'm talking about? Like the screaming. Like, I'm sure we've seen those type of powers in like X-Men. They should just like, you know, compare it that way. But I could see that the power of music is not really realistic, and maybe that's why they said no to that. But they could have come up with something better, okay? And so Musa is still called Musa, even though she doesn't have the power of music, but she does confide in music to like, because she can hear other people's feelings, so she puts on her headphones to ignore other people's feelings. But eventually in like the end of season 1 and all through season 2, she's starting to use her powers and use them for good and stuff like that. But it is what it is, okay? It is what it is. Basically, you know, they find out that their professor died. They didn't know that the professor died. They eventually found out in season 2, whatever. And then they were able to be like, okay, there's also some type of, you know, fight between the blood witches and trying to like save the fairies, because this guy is like killing fairies and like taking their powers, whatever. And so at like the end of season 2, you know, it's only Bloom who's able to wings up, okay? So the rest of everybody except for Flora is now able to like wings up. Now, except for Flora and Musa. Musa's powers, I believe, was taken away from her, but she didn't die. She just had her powers taken from her, so that was that. So the other ones, Stella, Tara, and Aisha, with Bloom, were able to all wings up. And the CGI, guys, the CGI was the most horrendous thing I have ever seen in my life. I was like, who said this was okay? Who thought that that's what you want it to look like? I just want to know who said that the CGI and all this was good. You know, if you want to keep it a real live adaptation, I would probably cut out them trying to Winx up, because in the Winx Club, yeah, you know, it made sense. They had the music, it was like dancing, and they were like, you know, Tecna or like Musa was on like the CD and turning into their fairy. But you can't do that in the live adaptation. It just looked dumb. Like, they were literally in the middle of a fight, and all of a sudden they just start floating and start getting wings, and there was like little fairy dust. It was just really bad, and I would have cut that for the live adaptation. Or just completely changed the plot, because it ain't doing what they thought it was gonna do. It wasn't doing it. Okay, welcome to this part of the video where I'm gonna be doing a little bit of something new. So I like to read every now and then, and I'm really in love with reading recently. So for this part of the video, I'm gonna be suggesting a book. Now the link is gonna be down below in the bio, and you guys can buy the book, you know, read the book, get it like online, whichever. But today I'm going to be referring this book, which is Livid by Patricia Cornwell. When I first got this book, me and my boyfriend like made fun of how big her name was on the cover. You know, like I don't know why her name is so big on the cover, but it is what it is. But basically this book is about a medical examiner, and she kind of just like takes you through the story of how she's figuring out a pretty like important murder of a judge's sister. And basically it's a really good book because I love mysteries. I love figuring out, you know, who killed who, what has happened. I have not personally finished this book, but I am going to finish it soon, and I'm going to do a book review soon. So if you guys want to finish this with me and possibly get the book review in a later date, probably in a month or so, I will upload a book review on this one. I have another book review that I'm going to release soon, and of course I will link the book to that one down below later when I do it. But this you need to get, okay? It has a little bit of a slow start, but I believe y'all can do it, okay? So I'm gonna link it down below. Go buy. You have to. Just do it. If you can't tell, I literally could not sit through some of the episodes in these seasons. Like, I watched season 1 as best as I can, but sometimes I had to fast forward some stuff because it was just too boring. It was just not giving what it needed to give, and I couldn't do it. So I feel like I'm already talking about my conclusion, but I'm gonna give this a certified piece of garbage. And I've never done that. I like bad shows. I like, you know, the little romance and little cuteness, and it's like, you know, a little bad. Like, the acting's a little bad, but I still love the plot of the movie, you know? But for this one, I'm gonna give it a certified garbage. I don't think I've ever had the like problems that I did watching the Winx Club. I've never been like, oh my god, this is the worst thing ever. But while watching it, I literally was like, who thought this was okay? How did they get accepted for a second season? Like, it's bad. The CGI, the plot. Like, at the end of season 2, for some reason Bloom decides to go into like the dark world or whatever to go see her mom, and that's how season 2 ends. Like, what is her mom gonna do? Obviously her mom's in trouble. Like, so how did she know her mom was over there, and why did she think her going over there was gonna make a difference? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me, and I think a lot of people understand why it doesn't make any sense, because it just, like, they're trying to make it dark and they don't have to. And Bloom still can't control her powers. She still gets really angry, and then she's just like, powers, fire, and she killed her other professor. Like, it's just, it's messy, and it's not making any sense, okay? The acting also, ooh, girl, I've never had the worst acting in that show. Also, like, Bloom has an American accent, and then you get like freaking Sky, who has like an English accent, and then you got like some Scottish accents up in there, and it's just like, where are these accents coming from? Are we just like accepting the accents? Are we just like, oh, they must be from England or Scotland or something? Like, you know, like, it's not making any sense to me. And I don't know if anybody understands this or gets this, but it's not what I thought it was gonna be, and it's just not good. It's just not good. But if you like really like bad shows and that are just not good, give it a watch, you know? Maybe you might like it. But I am saying today that I really hate it, and it messed up my favorite show of my childhood. Like, if you're gonna make the Winx Club, do it right, or don't do it at all. With that being said, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I will be back next week with another video. Leave a comment down below about what show I should make comments on next. I have Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Plus, Disney Plus. Like, I have it basically all. So I said Amazon Plus, Amazon Prime. I basically have like most of the streaming platforms, but I will get another streaming platform if you guys want me to, so that I can watch some of these shows or movies or something like that. But anyways, make sure you like and subscribe down below. Make sure so that there can be some type of interaction, and so we can get some interaction on this video today. And thank you guys so much for watching until the end. If you are here until the end, you guys are the best. And yeah, I will see you guys next week.